Can you give me a little description of what zebra mussels look like, how big they are, and some characteristics of how people can identify them?
Zebra mussels are actually pretty small. I would say a little bit like a clam organism. They're, I would say, around 1 to 3 centimeters long. So they're very small, and they have a round quarter, but they are mainly like a little bit like a D-shaped species. So that's how we can identify them. But they are not all the same. Some have some kind of little line, like that's why we call them zebra mussel. But they are not all the same.
Are they easy to spot? Like if you were just walking around a beach that has been contaminated, would you be able to know what they are if you just see them?
Not necessarily. First of all, when they are in their stage, the smaller stage, or they're in their larva stage, we call them villagers, they are microscopic, so you can't see them. It's pretty much impossible. But when they are adult, they will fix on substrate who are hard, and on these places it's possible to see them, but it's pretty not rare, but it's pretty hard to see them. They're really well hidden.
If you were just walking along the beach, like Grand Beach at Lake Winnipeg, um, are they found generally together or are they separated?
Usually, zebra mussel will all fix on hard substrate, like a stone or something like that, and they will fix on each other. So when you can find one shell who is actually a dead zebra mussel usually, because it will be having washed out on the beach, or a clump of them, but usually they are all together. But that doesn't mean then you can't find just one individual.
How many zebra mussels are they estimating to be in Manitoba waters? Is there a number that you guys know of?
No, it will be hard to say. We know some area of Manitoba who have been contaminated, but numbers of actual zebra mussel, no, it will be very hard to know.
When did they start showing up in Manitoba waters?
They have been found for the first time in 2013 in Lake Winnipeg. So that's the first time that they have been officially identified in Lake Winnipeg in Manitoba. But we know that they are in the Red River in North Dakota since 2009.
How are they able to get from one body of water to another? Is there a special way that they travel?
They usually travel actually with people because they can't move by themselves, so they have to actually be transported by someone. The main way of transportation is with watercraft or with water. So people transporting water from one water body to another one, because as we were saying previously, they can be microscopic. So even in a drop of water, you can bring some larvae or some eggs of zebra mussel, and you can contaminate a new water body. That's why it's very important to always drain, dry, clean, and dispose of all water organisms from one water body before to go in another one.
What are some of the rules governing that the provincial or federal governments have set up to deal with zebra mussels?
It's very important. Parks Canada and the Government of Canada are really committed to protect all our water body. And since 2015, we have two legislation, one federal and one provincial, to deal with zebra mussel. And now here in Riding Mountains for the third year in a row, now we have even an inspection program, and it's mandatory for every person coming into the park to have their boat inspected. So we have a lot of tools. So it's the responsibility of everyone to be sure that they follow this rule to clean, dry, drain, and dispose of all bait or water that they have.
Is there a number of how fast they multiply? How fast do they spread? Like when they first are introduced into a body of water, how long does it take until the whole area is contaminated?
He can go pretty quick. One female zebra mussel can spawn in one season up to 1 million of eggs. So that could go very quickly, and we can see it now in Lake Winnipeg. The spread is going on, and the spread rate is very high, and that's why it's very important for everyone to take that seriously and to do their own diligence to be sure that the spread is stopped.
What are some of the effects that they have when they are entered into a body of water, ecosystem-wise?
Ecosystem-wise, they can have a dramatic effect. We have to understand that they are filters. So what they do, they just filter the water, and they take all the nutrients, all the algae and the zooplankton, who are usually the food for the little fish. So if you don't have this food for the little fish, you don't have the little fish, and after that you can even have an effect on the bigger fish. So they usually have a dramatic effect on the whole ecosystem of the lake.
When they enter a body of water, do they become permanent, or are there ways to get rid of them once they are there?
It's pretty rare that you're able to remove actually the zebra mussel from one water body. So once they're there, they stay there usually for a long time. So it is very important. Prevention is our way to kind of stop them. So it is possible in Manitoba to stop the spread and to keep them where they are for the moment, but it's everyone's responsibility to be part of this fight.
Is there ways that the governments are dealing with stopping the spread, or how can people take the initiative and stop?
It's everyone's responsibility to stop it everywhere that they can. But of course, as part of the government here in Riding Mountain, we have an inspection program where we inspect every boat coming into the park, and if needed, we will decontaminate the boat. It's free of charge to be sure then we can keep our water body here clean and for the next generation, and to be sure that everyone can enjoy them.
Do you know if any way it would affect fishing? You mentioned that it kills algae and plankton and that the fish eat, but will it affect larger fish in general?
Yes, it would. It is known then the zebra mussel, as I said, will have a very important dramatic effect on all the plankton, and the plankton is the food for the little fish. And if you don't have the little fish, you will not have the bigger fish. So for sure the fishing may be impacted by that.
Is there anything else that you would like to mention about zebra mussels, prevention, or how they affect waters?
For sure, zebra mussel is one of the aquatic invasive species that we have here in Manitoba, and it's the same rules for all the other ones. So it's very important for everyone to take that very seriously, and we hope that they will come to see us, even if we have an inspection program. And it's important for the people to plan ahead. So if they want to go fishing here in Riding Mountain, we invite them to be inspected way before they actually go into the water body, like that, to be sure that they don't have any delay when they wanted to go fishing.
Thank you very much for taking the time.
No problem.